morning. Welcome to 49ers in 5, your daily update on everything happening with the team that you need to know. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. Today is Wednesday, May 24th, 2023. Here's what's happening with your San Francisco 49ers. Man alive, it is great to have the Niners back on the field, is it not? Trey Lance threw yesterday, Sam Darnold threw yesterday, coaches talked, players talked, so let's get right to it. We'll start with Kyle Shanahan, who gave an update on the return of Brock Purdy.
Only God knows, and it's all estimates, so it depends what quote people have got from me, but I mean, we're hoping for week one, and I feel pretty optimistic about that. That's what we're hoping for. He'll be ready to play in week one, and usually that doesn't mean that's the day he comes back. Usually you got to come before that to make that goal, and that's kind of the goal we're hoping for, and don't have any reason to think differently.
To hear the 49ers tell it, we may have spent a lot of time worrying about a quarterback competition that may never happen. Kyle said Brock is going to be cleared to throw a football next week, which some people are claiming is a week early. It is not, okay? It's 12 weeks out from the surgery on March 10th, which is right on time. Speaking of Brock Purdy, he was a little more non-committal when asked if he'll be back in week one.
I feel good. Arm is feeling good. So to say I'm going to be ready by this time or this time, I just, we're not trying to label any kind of timeline like that. For sure, though, like that's a goal, right? To you want to be ready for the season, and if that's the case, great. But like I said, we're just taking it one day at a time, and don't want to say anything that we regret down the road or whatever.
Sounds like he was told not to put a date on it in case things don't work out, which, by the way, is actually the smartest thing the 49ers have done at the quarterback position in quite some time. So, hey, maybe they're learning. One last stop before we go. Trey Lance, of course, also at the podium, and he reiterated that he never thought about playing for any other team.
No, not at all. I knew where I wanted to be. Even going back, like I said last year, I just wanted an opportunity to compete. For me, I love it here. I love the coaching staff. I love working with Greasy and Clay and now Clint as well. Love the quarterback room. Love the guys in the locker room. No doubt for me, this is absolutely where I want to be.
Considering the team has only had one healthy quarterback season since 2014, Trey probably wants to stay because he knows he's going to get a chance to play this year, even if Brock does return in week one. Trey was also asked if he's 100% healthy from the finger and the ankle injuries.
Shoot, I don't know exactly when. Probably towards the end of March, I would say, is when I was 100%. And yeah, finger was probably a past thing throughout this whole rehab process for most of it. I felt like it got to that point, pretty close to that point after my rookie year, after that offseason. But yeah, it's been awesome offseason for me, just being able to spend time, finally getting back to football, finally getting back to being around the guys now.
That is a great question by Jennifer Lee Chan and a very definitive answer by Trey Lance. And look, no excuses now, right? I don't want to hear about the ankle or the finger or the knee or anything else. It's put up or shut up time. We always give you one thing to read, one thing to watch, and one thing you might have missed. One thing to read on this Wednesday, Grant Cohn has a great rundown of the good, bad, and ugly from OTAs on all49ersi.com. He can exaggerate a little at both ends sometimes, but it's a really good primer for just what the hell was going on out there. One thing to watch, Stefania Bell of ESPN did a really informative video about Brock Purdy's UCL surgery, and she explained exactly what the inside of his elbow looks like, including visual aids. It was actually and it was quick too, just a really good explanation of what the surgery actually is. And I say all this assuming you've already seen the thousands of videos of Trey Lance throwing that have been on the internet since yesterday afternoon. One thing you may have missed, Trey also said he's going to go right back to working with Jeff Christensen after OTAs are over. We know the Niners really value the 40 days between OTAs and training camp, and it sounds like they must be happy with where Lance is right now. So good news, he will be back with Jeff Christensen. That's a wrap on today's 49ers in 5. Please rate, review, and follow the Gold Standard Podcast Network. Enjoy your Wednesday, everybody. Make sure you hop on the Gold Standard Network YouTube page tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time for Stats and Cone. I will pick Grant's brain about everything he saw on the ground at OTAs yesterday. We'll take your questions as well. It's going to be a ton of fun. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. We'll talk tomorrow.